We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world.
How do you recover from that? If you're the diva of Dump Divas, Cathy Engelbert, how do you sit at the negotiating table and negotiate with players who clearly hate you? And if you're the players, how do you expect to be given what you want when you're publicly humiliating the woman responsible for making that decision? This league is a flaming ass fire. The WNBA is a prime example of obtaining success and not being ready for it. You would think after 30 years of huge embarrassing failure, this unbelievably toxic turd would be ready for prosperity. But the WNBA is like the wife who grew up in a toxic home. She grows up, she meets a stable man from a good family. He checks all the required boxes, 6 feet, 6 inches, 6 figures. They get married, and for the first time in her life, she's got stability. What does she do with that stability? She destroys it because she is accustomed to a life of chaos. Stability is uncomfortable for her, while chaos is normal. For the WNBA, Caitlin Clark is the stability. Caitlin Clark is the success that this dump has never achieved on their own. But because success is so uncomfortable, the WNBA seems to be doing everything in their power to return to a comfortable life of huge embarrassing failure. June of 1994, Sports Illustrated featured the NHL on the cover of the magazine. Now, this was back when Sports Illustrated had actual people writing the articles instead of the useless AI that they're utilizing today. The tagline of the cover read, "Why the NHL is hot and why the NBA is not." When most people remember the 90s, we remember it as the pinnacle of the NBA's success. But after Michael Jordan temporarily retired, the popularity of the NBA was naturally declining. And at the time, the NHL was surging into the mainstream. NHL players noticed the increased popularity of the league and they wanted their fair share. Team owners wanted a salary cap that limited the amount of money that players could make, especially the team owners in smaller markets where they were struggling to generate profit, while the players, they wanted to significantly increase their salaries. Is this starting to sound familiar? Long story short, players went on strike. Half of the 94-95 season was canceled. A lot of the momentum that the NHL spent years building, it suddenly evaporated. 10 years later, NHL went on strike again over the exact same issue. This time, entire season was canceled, and you can make a strong case the NHL has never recovered. The strike in the mid-2000s, it damn near killed the league. Those are the consequences that the WNBA is facing. This isn't the NFL. This isn't the NBA where players can go on strike and the audience will be there waiting when they finally decide they want to play basketball again. This is the WNBA. This is make-believe basketball. This is a niche league that most people had forgotten about until Caitlin Clark put polish on this toxic turd. There is a real possibility the 2026 WNBA season will be canceled. If that happens, I don't think the WNBA would ever be able to recover. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. Later today on the second channel, going to be talking about the embarrassing segment on ESPN yesterday morning. Once again, the consequences of diversity were showcased at the worldwide leader in woke. Once again, a pretend analyst proved why it's important to have real professionals in analyst positions. And once again, Monica McDougal made a complete fool of herself on national television. The same Mo McDougal that thought Barry Sanders was Shador Sanders. So click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. Headline at the New York Post: the WNBA needs to find its Adam Silver. What? Excuse me. Let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. I know Cathy Engelbert has been the drizzling shits as the diva of dump divas, but you're telling me the WNBA needs someone like Adam Silver to solve the problem? The same Adam Silver that has damn near destroyed the NBA by giving all the power to NBA players. The same Adam Silver that has absolutely no respect from NBA players. Well, Casey, that's not true. NBA players love Adam Silver. They think he's groovy. There is not a doubt in my mind that NBA players like Adam Silver. He's a great dude, very personable. When a bumblebee accidentally falls into his pool and is desperately trying to save itself from drowning, Adam Silver is the type of man that would dip his hands into the pool to save the bumblebee's life. But there is a huge difference. Huge difference between liking the commissioner of your league and respecting him. Could you imagine how toxic the WNBA would be if players were given more power? Could you imagine how entitled WNBA players would be if they were given multi-million-dollar contracts? WNBA players have been entitled for years while they were living below the poverty line. WNBA players have believed that they run the league while they were broke. Could you imagine how empowered they would be if they had millions of dollars in their bank account? You think Cathy Engelbert doesn't know that? You think Cathy Engelbert hasn't thought about that? You see, the real reason WNBA players want Cat Engelbert fired, the real reason they are demanding a new commissioner, it has nothing to do with the officiating. It has nothing to do with how Cat Engelbert treats players. Which, by the way, and for some reason this point has been missed, Cathy Engelbert does not work for WNBA players. The diva of dump divas works for the owners. She doesn't answer to Bob Greiner. She doesn't answer to Nafisha Collier. Cathy Engelbert answers to the people who continue dumping money into this unmonetizable turd and have never received a return on their investment. For years, Cathy Engelbert has refused to discipline WNBA players. Well, Casey, that's not true. Cat works those claws. This season, she's issued stiff fines to players who didn't know how to be professional. I'm not talking about $500 fines for criticizing referees making $500 a week. I'm talking about WNBA players hijacking the All-Star game to protest for more money. I'm talking about Natasha Cloud insinuating on social media that Charlie Kirk was responsible for his own death. I'm talking about WNBA teams refusing to be on the court for the national anthem. Years ago, players were kneeling for the national anthem. Bob Greiner was demanding that the national anthem be removed from the WNBA altogether. And what did Cat Engelbert do about it? Not a damn thing. But all of a sudden, when it comes to jeopardizing the future of the league by handing out multi-million-dollar contracts to players who have no ability to generate the revenue to support those contracts, Cathy Engelbert is suddenly willing to take a stand. And that is the real reason WNBA players want her fired. That is the real reason WNBA players are throwing a temper tantrum. The truth is, there is a mentality problem in the WNBA. The WNBA has always been an activist league. Activism has always taken precedence over the actual product on the court. And if you've ever watched a WNBA game, you know I'm right. Long term, this is not sustainable. Think about it. Name one successful organization that's 100% infected with the woke fungus. Name one. I can name several who have been destroyed. Bud Light, Target, Cracker Barrel, CNN, MSNBC, late night television. Remember Bob Dylan Mulvaney? Remember how Dylan Mulvaney had the illusion of popularity for about 365 days? When is the last time you heard anything about Bobby D? The woke fungus damn near destroyed the NBA. Why do you think Adam Silver was so adamant about eradicating it? The NFL, which is usually immune to ratings declines, NFL ratings dropped, I think it was 20%, when Colin Kaepernick tried to infect the league with the fungus, which is why Roger Goodell and NFL owners were quick to kick his ass out of the league. For the better part of 30 years, the WNBA has been an activist league, and for the better part of 30 years, the WNBA has been a huge embarrassing failure. The media is vilifying Cathy Engelbert for all the wrong reasons. I'm not saying Cat Engelbert is a good commissioner. Like I said, she is the drizzling shits. She mishandled Caitlin Clark. Cat Engelbert said something to the effect of, Katie Rue Clark should be thanking her lucky stars. She is the prime beneficiary of this magnificent platform that I have built. There are plenty of reasons as to why Cat Engelbert's tenure as WNBA commissioner has been a flaming ass fire. But the media wants her fired for finally doing something right? To me, the biggest revelation from Nafisha Collier, it was her admitting that Cat Engelbert is worried about sustainability. She's worried about giving players millions of dollars and the WNBA returning to their historical averages, which is not being able to draw flies to a fresh turd. That is a legitimate concern. This dump is struggling to make money while players are making minimum wage. How in the hell can they be profitable long term when players are making millions of dollars? If next season is canceled, I don't see how the WNBA recovers. But KC fans are supporting the players. They will support them through this lockout and be ready to celebrate the butt bungo when they return in 2027. Yeah, fans are supporting the players for now, but people have very short memories. It doesn't take very long to be forgotten. If you don't believe me, go ask the NHL. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.